car insurance in the state of Florida. We have heard horror stories about this relationship, but lucky for us, our next guest is going to help break it down. We are, of course, talking about Margaret Swope of Swope Law, and she's here to talk about the details of why these two just seem like they don't go hand in hand. Good morning, Margaret. How you doing?
I'm great, Natalie. How are you?
Well, I'm glad you are here because you and I were discussing that I even ran into this on my own personal side of things. You think that you're covered and you have full coverage, but that is not necessarily the case in Florida. Why not?
Right. In Florida, to be fully covered under Florida law, you only have to carry personal injury protection and property damage coverage. That is called full coverage in Florida. So many times my clients come in and they've been in an auto accident and the other person has no insurance. I ask them if they have uninsured motorist, which is the coverage that will protect them in the event that they're injured and someone doesn't already have insurance. And they always tell me, well, I have full coverage. My agent told me I had full coverage. And 9 times out of 10, they don't have uninsured motorist because that is not legally required in the state of Florida.
So since that is not legally required, is that what is causing these issues in Florida, that you have so many drivers that when you're in an accident, 9 times out of 10, they don't have insurance? Is that why? The minimum that you need to have is property damage and personal injury protection. There's about 25% of people driving around in Florida that don't have uninsured motorists to cover themselves, or they're not insured at all. That is a tough stat to get behind. And, you know, you and I were personally talking about this because I was like, Margaret, I'm so glad you're here. In fact, I thought I had full coverage, and I had someone look over my policy, and I didn't even have uninsured motorists. Right. So how important is that? What do viewers at home need to know?
It is the most important coverage to have. Because like I said, 25% of people are driving around with no insurance, and it is the only insurance that's going to protect you if you're injured in a car accident and the other person doesn't have insurance, or they don't have enough insurance. Some people don't even have bodily injury coverage, like I said, and that's the coverage that would pay for your damages if someone else caused the accident. And so people are driving around, they don't have insurance, and the only way you can really do anything about it is to protect yourself.
And as someone who helps others and is a lawyer, if someone came to you and said, what are the types that I need to know moving forward that best will serve my family and help me, what advice would you give?
Right. Bodily injury coverage protects your assets. In case you cause the accident, you want to be able to have that insurance so that they can't sue you personally and come after what you own. So you want to have that coverage, okay. And then equal amounts of coverage between bodily injury and uninsured motorists. You want to have uninsured motorist coverage, and you want to have it stacked. And for more information, you should call me about that because it's complicated.
Oh, I was going to say, this is a very complicated topic. And so I'm curious, in your law firm, what are some of the things that, you do see people coming in and saying they're fully covered and then they're not? What are some of the other examples, though, to help protect others and why people need to give you a call?
Well, insurance is so complicated. It really takes knowing what your policy is, checking what your policy is, calling an agent, making sure that you've got yourself covered, because I see people all the time where they have uninsured motorist coverage, but it's not enough for what their injuries are, or they think they have uninsured motorist coverage and they don't. And it's just a nightmare because in Florida, the insurance world is really what you want to focus on. You want to protect yourself because you can't rely on others to do it for you.
And that's where I think you come in, the perfect segue. When should people get in touch with a lawyer and have someone on their side?
Obviously, as soon as possible. You don't always know when you're injured. At the scene of the accident, you might think that you're fine, but a couple days later, you might realize that if you're injured at all in an accident, you should consult with an attorney because the insurance world is a nightmare. I was going to say,
we're of course just scratching the surface as always because it is definitely in depth. Again, Margaret, thank you so much. And if you do want more information and want Margaret to be on your side to help, well, of course, there is their website, PinellasAccidentLawyers.com, or feel free just to give Swope Law a call, 727-725-0200.